How are you all doing today?
Super good.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. It's such an honor to be here. I'm just going to say that I didn't start out as a street artist. I went to school to be a doctor. I ended up in real estate for 9 years, lost everything in 2008, rebuilt in financial advising for the past 9 years, gave that up, and now I'm painting murals and transforming walls all over the world. But I'm not here today on a whim. I was doodling on a piece of paper because this guy, Evan Meyer, said, hey, we need to get you on a wall. And he started this.
I was one day painting a bench because I realized it just needed to be painted. It was just an ugly bench. It just needed some love. I said, well, who's going to paint it? All right, I guess I'll paint it. And in working closely with our city, with our neighborhood groups, and in the city of Santa Monica, there's a street called Lincoln Boulevard that is called, everyone knows it, it's called Stinkin' Lincoln, very commonly. And I said, look, let's just make this beautiful. We don't need this doesn't need $100 million. This just needs to start activating the community through art. So it started there, it started spreading. Beautify Lincoln turned into Beautify Crenshaw, Beautify Rockaways, New York, all these Beautify projects, and became BeautifyEarth. And here we are today, realizing how deep this problem goes of neglect and leaving things unmaintained in a state of disrepair, in a state of not feeling really that great. And most of the world looks like that. So we took on the mission of ending ugly wall syndrome.
Beautiful.
It exists. It's a thing.
It's real. And it's one of the clearest ways we're able to say it, tried all these different ways until every wall is beautiful, painting the world in color, all these things. And at the end of the day, we're like, look, the world is just filled with ugly walls. So we got to end that, now. And it's way too easy. So, wrong button. There we go. Trash is everywhere. The images we're about to show you are in Santa Monica. And we took it in Santa Monica for a reason. Because if Santa Monica has this kind of stuff, you can only imagine how far this problem goes. These are the types of things here. You can read those just to get a feel for it. Some of these photos are on Main Street even. How does this make you feel?
Sad.
Yes.
Sad.
Yes.
Sad.
Say it.
Heavy. Mm-hmm.
I love
Gross.
it. Well, I don't love it, but that's what we want you to say.
So people ask us all the time, why Santa Monica? It's such an affluent city. That's because everyone's thinking about everything west of Lincoln, 3rd Street, but there's a lot of Santa Monica that's really ugly. This is just an exit off the 10 freeway. Imagine you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic already, you're getting off a long day of work, and you're surrounded by these ugly walls, these thoroughfares, these exits, and this is what you see. It's patchiness, because they can't get the same grade to cover up the graffiti that was on there. We think it's lazy. We think that there's an opportunity here to put inspiration, and we're going to go through a couple examples of what that can look like. These are 4 buildings in Santa Monica. This is what they looked like before we cured their ugliness. And we like to ask the question that he already started. How does this make you feel? We want to hear the words. What does that make you feel inside when you look at this?
Depressed.
Dreary.
Dreary.
Blah. Dreary.
Blah.
Uncared for.
Uncared for. Unkempt. Apathetic. Boring. Like a prison.
So when you multiply that times 1,000,000, when you drive around and people are outside walking along in their streets, getting coffee, eating whatever, that's multiplied times 1,000,000. And that is, whether it's conscious or subconscious, that is the energy and the vibe that you're putting out there. And you're basically saying, we don't care.
Ugly is the norm.
Same walls.
Now, how does that make you feel?
Inspired.
Inspired.
Right?
Times 1,000,000.
So this wall on the top left is a pizza parlor right across the street from Santa Monica College. A lot of the kids go over there and eat and grab pizza. A lot of the kids from the high school go there and grab pizza. And now instead of looking at a gray, blocky, prison-looking building, they see this color, and it's an owl, and it inspires thought and creativity.
So what do you think they're taking photos in front of with their pizza? And tagging Gray Block Pizza, Beautify Earth, or whatever they're tagging. Amazing slice of pizza at Gray Block in front of the wise owl.
The top right is low-income housing for mentally challenged people. If you looked at the previous slide, it looked really bad. It almost looked like it could be in Compton, South Central, something you would typically see in those scenes. And now it looks like the Amalfi Coast, a street in Cartagena, Colombia, if you visited.
Someone called it Little Italy.
Yeah.
They started calling it that little area, which, I don't know.
That's one of the residents hanging out in front of it now. So they're like, our home is pretty now. They feel inspired to live there. Already, with the challenges they're facing, they at least have this.
So I always like to do this. I always do this myself. I'll go back and I'll go, ugh. Ah. Ugh. Ah.
Bottom left is a really nice high-end furniture store that sells really cool stuff, very like Bali type furniture and things like that. Now we put up some color, a nice inspiring message about gratitude, and it's on a 14th and Santa Monica. It's a huge corner. Mercedes-Benz have a bunch of cars parked in front of it. And now you've got this versus and the last thing is a dojo where people go in and do their karate and stuff and have this inspiring thing to look at, which, you know, makes them fierce, focused, and intense when they go to train.
Nice.
It's a great thing about having this clicker. You can do this kind of really back and forth very nicely. All right. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to lead by example, and we're trying to get others, we are getting others to lead by example. And we measure our success not just by how many walls we do, but our influence in being able to help craft policy in new programs that get developed, whether it's utility box programs around the city or different, designing lampposts in a nice, strategic and colorful, cohesive way, or whatever that looks like. It's encouraging people to use art as a way of not just self-expression, but as a cure to make people feel better in their environments, so we don't have to be stinking Lincoln anymore. What are we actually branding with the alternative? What are you saying is okay? What are you accepting as the norm? And who's the one saying that's okay? Like seeks like, period. You want to be in an unmaintained environment, you'll continue to get that kind of treatment. And we know this because if you look at some of these stats, we didn't make that up. This is like from our research and from research around the world at a university level. Not even just our own statistical research along the streets that we do work, but we're talking about like serious, like these things make a massive difference. We have examples where there is tagging underneath a mural, where it's like so we know that when we do art, and before it was done, it was getting tagged all the time, and then we do art and it's 95% less likely to get tagged. So why are we spending $20 billion a year on graffiti abatement? Wow. When we know a much better investment is to make art. We're doing Band-Aid approaches of covering up with blotchy coatings of paint when we can actually invest in art.
So we don't do this alone. We work with a lot of partners that believe in us, believe in the mission, believe in the power of art and the impact that it creates. We don't do this for marketing and branding. We do this because it creates change. And people want to walk around in their cities, they want to feel good, and when brands get behind that, they act consciously, they know that they can make a difference. This is a perfect example of someone that is battling cancer. She saw this mural, she was inspired to shed all her layers, stand in front of it and say, I'm gonna be strong for my daughters, I'm not gonna hide anymore, and I am beautiful. So it's not just it looks pretty, it's also how we're creating change in human beings. Lastly, how do you get involved? It's really simple. After this, come find us, come talk to us. We can get deeper into this. We have a little bit of time now. We can send this to you, but we'll be here. Thank you so much for your time.
There is a page in your book at the end to actually fill out how you can make a difference in your community, that one thing, and that's how we all got started. We call it civic love. But in the back of your book, there's one page, and think about it. What is that one thing that you can walk away with today to feel good about what you're doing and contributing and giving back in your community to make a difference?
Woo-hoo!